Hey squad, and welcome to your yoga series with me, Lewis. Now, this next 30 minutes is all about that dynamic flow where we're going to be leading into a yin finish. Think about working through your spine, think about recovery, but getting a nice, strong stimulus to begin with. So we're going to start cross-legged, sitting up nice and tall, and just closing down the eyes. The first thing we want to do, as we often open our practice, is just ground ourselves in this present moment by bringing our awareness to our breath. Just noticing whatever's coming up in the body, in the mind, and without trying to pay it too much attention and get fixated on it. Just let it go with the exhale. Acknowledging that these thoughts, these feelings, these sensations will too begin to pass. And with the eyes closed, you can center the gaze in the forehead or the eyebrows meet. Just noticing how your body is showing up on your mat at whatever time of day you're practicing. Letting go of the busyness of the mind. Noticing where you experience the breath in your body. Taking 2 more deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, feel the belly expand. And exhale to empty. Once more, big deep breath in. And release to let it out. So we're going to stay as we are seated and just take a mild twist through the spine. So you can either stay cross-legged here and bring your right hand to the outside edge of your left knee. Or if you prefer something a bit deeper, if you're naturally a bit more of an open person, maybe you're thinking about straightening the legs and crossing left leg over right for that deeper twist. So I'll start with the first option and give you an opportunity to go deeper if you so wish. So right hand to the outside edge of the left knee, left hand behind you, and just taking a gentle glance over that shoulder, taking 3 breaths here. Or alternatively, with the right leg straight, left foot crossed over the right, you can use the right arm to wrap around that left knee, pulling knee to shoulder and taking the twist over the shoulder here too. Whichever variation you've taken, the focus here is on rotating through the spine. So try and stay as tall as you can. We're not leaning back here. And bringing your awareness to your breath. And in your next exhale, releasing either that rotation, once again, whether you're cross-legged or you're going to work with that single leg out straight. Make your way to the other side. Left arm wrapping around the right knee. Toe points up to the ceiling with the straight leg. And with the right arm behind you, fingertips point away from the mat. Looking over that shoulder as much as possible. Notice if you can turn a little bit further with each exhale. Drawing the navel in towards the spine. Just releasing tension through the upper back and shoulders or thoracic spine. Beautiful. Releasing out of that rotation. And we're going to cross the legs as we were, but this time rolling over the knees if that feels safe to do so, and make your way into a tabletop in any way that feels good for you today. From our tabletop, starting to flex and extend the spine now, so mobilizing through your cat and cows as you inhale, look up towards the ceiling, and exhale around the back, tucking the tailbone under. You really start to feel the breath with each lift of the chest as you inhale and each rounding of the spine as you exhale. Tucking that tailbone right the way in as you lift, belly button up towards the rib cage. Excellent. Starting to breathe at the pace of your movement now. So for the entire inhale, think about broadening the collarbones, always pulling the wrists in towards the knees, so we're nice and active there. And for the entire exhale, tucking the tailbone, rounding through each vertebrae, dome the shoulders as you really push the palms into the mat here. Try and articulate the spine as much as you possibly can. And then, of course, as I often like to invite some more unorthodox movements, some more unconventional movements, as you just feel your way through your own body here. Maybe circling the neck or rounding the shoulders, bending an elbow, sitting back onto heels, just really expressing yourself on your mat, feeling your way through any areas that might need it. Lovely, in your own time. Just coming back to your tabletop position and getting some rotation through the spine once again. So we'll start with our thread the needle, lifting our left hand up first, gazing towards the fingertips. And as you exhale, thread that left hand between the space between the right wrist and right knee, allowing the shoulder and ear to just melt towards the earth. We'll take 3 breaths here. Wonderful. Coming back to the center. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, a bit more dynamic this time. Thread that left hand through the gap. And then making your way straight back up for one more time. Left hand reaches up. Gaze towards the fingertips. We're going to pause at the top here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, try and twist a bit further. One more deep breath in as we pause here. And exhale, last time. Left hand threads the needle, shoulder and ear melt towards the floor. Noticing that space in the spine and the shoulders here, and just surrendering into that twist. Wonderful. Coming back to center. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. We'll repeat on the other side now. So inhale, right arm looks up, gaze follows the fingertips. Exhale, thread the needle. Right hand reaches between the gap. Right ear, right shoulder melt to the ground. Spending those 3 breaths here, just trying to surrender, trying to let go, and just trying to reconnect with the body now. Good. Your next inhale, come back through center. Right arm reaches up, look into fingertips, and exhale, thread that right hand between the space. Good. Last time, can we take it even further? Inhaling to rise, pausing at the top. And as we exhale, twist a little further. And as you exhale, the next breath, thread that right hand for the very last time. Lovely. Good. Yogis, in your own time, we're coming back to center, into our tabletop for the last time. Tucking the toes underneath the feet on your inhale. And as you exhale, press the hips up and back. Find your downward facing dog. Invitation to keep the knees soft here, so you can bend one knee, straighten the opposite leg. Start to take your dog for a walk, as we like to say. And whilst you're here, maybe thinking about swaying the hips side to side. Again, maybe bending an elbow, rotating weight around the wrist, just exploring these shapes as your body needs to. In your own time, whenever you're ready to come back to center, think about spreading the fingers and pressing down through the heels of the palms, pressing down through the index finger and the thumb, so much so that the arms are alongside the ears. Chest is pressing back towards the thighs, and maybe, just maybe, those heels touch the floor for today. Bringing your awareness to your breath. Now, the last few episodes, you've heard me invite this Ujjayi breath or audible breath into your practice, and this is something that an experienced yogi may be familiar with. But if you're newer to yoga, then I want you to start to potentially, if you feel open to it, be curious enough to start to use this breathing technique to cool the body down as we start to build heat, and to really connect with that moving meditation that yoga can be as we breathe with each pose. Now, for your Ujjayi breath, we're thinking about keeping the mouth closed, so the nose is our primary function of breathing, unless, of course, you've got a blocked nose today. And we're thinking about constricting the back of the throat. So as you start to breathe through the nose exclusively, you'll start to hear this audible breath now. So it's an audible sound on the inhale through the nose, and an audible sound on the exhale through the nose. So starting to utilize that if that feels right for you today, but no obligation. And when you're ready to, in your own time, just beginning to walk the feet in towards the backs of the wrists. And we'll find our way into our forward fold. Invitation to keep the knees as bent as you need to once again. Just rounding the back and shoulders to bring chest towards the thighs. To allow the arms to hang heavy as you shake the head no and nod the head yes. Just releasing any tension through the back, through the shoulders. From here, we're grabbing opposite elbow. Just take a gentle sway side to side to find your ragdoll. Good. As you release tension, start to let go of the arms once again. Slowly begin to come back to center. Pressing through the soles of the feet as you round up through each vertebrae, disc by disc, vertebra by vertebrae, allowing shoulders to fall naturally with gravity. And the last thing to come up is that chin away from the chest as you find our way into our mountain pose, or Tadasana in Sanskrit. Now, palms are facing forwards, fingers are energetically spread away from one another. Really trying to draw that energy up through the soles of the feet to the crown of the head, feeling as tall and proud as you can here in your practice, in yourself. If there is an intention for your practice today beyond the one that I've offered, in our dynamic practice, in our slowing down and down regulating with the end of our practice in yin, beyond that, this is your moment to set an intention for yourself today. In your own time, blinking the eyes open. As you begin to move through our sun salutation A, getting the body a little bit more warm now. So as you inhale, sweep the arms alongside the ears, upward facing prayer. Palms to touch as you gaze towards the space between the fingertips. Keep breathing here. And on your next exhale, forward fold, releasing your arms towards the earth. And as you inhale, lifting halfway, lengthen through the spine as we take our gaze towards the horizon in the room. Hands can be on shins, hands can be on thighs here. And on your next exhale, releasing hands shoulder width apart, step back left foot followed by right. Pause in your plank for a moment, take a deep breath in as you press the hands into ground, dome the shoulders. And as you exhale, release the knees, come into a half chaturanga as you bend the elbows, keeping that straight line from head to knees. Good. Inhale, find baby cobra. Just a gentle back bend for now as you keep the elbows tight to body, lifting the chest, stay nice and light on the hands. And as you exhale, shift hips back to heels, finding your child's pose. Taking a breath here in child's pose as you inhale. Exhale to release. Inhale, find the tabletop, tucking toes underneath the feet. Exhale, find downward facing dog. Hips up high, heels pushing towards the earth. Inhale, take a look at the top edge of your mat. Softly bend the knees. Exhale, left foot steps forwards, followed by the right. Inhale to lift and lengthen once again. Hands can be down to shins or on the ground if you feel open. And exhale, bring chest towards the thighs, rounding through the upper back and shoulders. Inhale, lift the arms alongside the ears, upward facing prayer. Exhale, bring hands back through heart center, thumbs pressed against the sternum. Now bring your awareness back to your breath. We're going to increase the tempo a little bit and make things a little bit more challenging with that vinyasa aspect. So some of you will be familiar with it already. So that lowering from your plank position down through to downward facing dog. So once again, inhale, sweep the arms alongside the ears, upward facing prayer or Urdhva Hastasana in Sanskrit. Hinging at the hips to forward fold, bringing hands through heart center this time. Forward fold or Uttanasana. Inhale to lift and lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, right foot steps back this time. If you feel open already, you can step or jump or float your way back to your plank. Holding here for a moment as we exhale together. Bend the elbows, lower the whole body down in one straight line. Find Chaturanga Dandasana. Flipping onto tops of feet. Inhale, draw chest between the shoulders. Find your upwards facing dog, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, pressing through the hands, lift the hips up and back. Find downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Shavasana. Inhale 1. Exhale 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Inhale 3, take a look at the top edge of your mat, softly bend the knees. Exhale 3, step, jump or float your way forwards. Inhale to lift halfway, lengthen through the spine, gaze to the horizon. And exhale to release, empty and let go. Good. Inhale, arms alongside the ears, bringing hands together. And as you exhale, hands come to heart center. Bring your awareness back to your intention if you set one that was different to the one that we did. Otherwise, bring yourself back to the breath. Okay, yogis, taking one more round of our sun salutation. We're going to increase that tempo for the very last time. Inhale, draw arms alongside the ears, palms to touch. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step, jump or float back through your vinyasa, landing in chaturanga if you can. Inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. Exhale, press through the hands, lift the hips. Pausing here for the 3 breaths that we like to spend here. And so we're not going to go back into our forward fold. We're not going to go back to standing to complete the sun salutation. But I want you to really root down through the palms here, almost as if you're trying to rip the mat apart. So I'm rotating towards the outside edge of my mat, so much so that my elbows turn to face inwards or even forwards for some friends too. Shoulders slide into back pockets here. Try and do the same with the feet as you externally rotate, screwing those feet into the mat. Yeah, from wherever you are, inhale, right leg lifts up. Finding your three-legged dog, keep both hips pointed towards the ground. Exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Inhale, press through the sole of the right foot, come up into your crescent lunge. We're going to try and bend that right knee and bend the left knee a little bit here, or reaching the heel towards the back of the room, depending where you want to feel this. If that hip flexor feels like it needs a bit more love, then we can straighten the leg. If you want to come into a bent knee position softly, you're going to get a little bit more quad and glute action there. Exhale, bring hands to heart center, palms in a prayer position. Try and press the thumbs against the sternum here, staying nice and tall through the spine. Taking left elbow to right knee, we'll find our twist here. Try to press that left heel towards the back of the rim once again, so you've got a nice elongated position. There's always an option if you need to, if those legs feel a bit spent, that you can drop that left knee down. Keep pressing palms together. Keep looking up towards the ceiling if that's in your practice, or of course looking to the side of the room. Options if you're here, we could blossom the arms. 2 more breaths. There's options to go into a half bind, so right hand to left hip, or if you're feeling truly open today, maybe you grab hold of the opposite fingertips to clasp the palms, or of course grab the wrist. Taking one last breath in whatever variation of this twisted crescent lunge you're in. And as you exhale, release those arms out of the rotation. Press through the sole of the right foot, come up into your crescent lunge once again. Exhale, release the left heel down at 45 degrees in your mat and bring hands level with the shoulders. So just setting the foundations for our warrior 2. Release the shoulders away from the ears. Keep hands in one straight line with palms facing towards the floor. Have that glance down at your right big toe. Make sure you can see it inside the knee so the knee's not collapsing inwards. And then try and press into the outer edges of those feet. Good. Just notice where your body is in space. Can we get armpits above the hips here so we're nice and tall, not leaning too far forwards or backwards? And something that we've referred to earlier in our series here is that drishti, that focus gaze. Take that gaze down the center of the arm, over the middle finger. And taking one last breath in your warrior 2. Beautiful, good. Inhale, straighten the legs for me. You might want to shorten the stance here, especially if those hammies are tight. Start to lift the knees here, lift the kneecaps rather to engage the quad. And as you sit back into the hips, lean the torso forwards. Exhale to find your triangle pose. The back of the right hand comes to the inner ankle. There's a straight line between the left fingertips and the right. And we try and visualize ourselves laying flat against the wall behind us. Options to stay here, options to release that left hand to right hip and try and open through the chest a little further. If you're struggling with balance, looking up towards the ceiling, maybe take the gaze down towards the foot. Completely up to you where you land. Taking one more breath in your triangle. Okay, this time as you exhale, release that left hand down to the inner ankle here. Keep the pelvis square, facing towards the top edge of your mat now, and rotate that right hand up. Find that revolved triangle. If the hips starting to sway away from the mat or off the mat, try and hug the hips in, and again, pigeon toe the stance a bit shorter if you are struggling with tightness in the legs. Good. Exhale to release that right hand down either side of the front foot. Taking one breath here before we plant the hands and step our way back into our plank. Lowering down through whichever variation of vinyasa works for you. We've got knees, chest, chin, as you know from earlier in the series. We've got chaturanga, or we've got that half chaturanga. From here, we're going to press through the palms, lift the chest. Hips stay down for your cobra this time. Just thinking about shoulders rotating back and down away from the ears. And we're nice and strong through these arms. We'll take 3 breaths here. Try and rotate those palms into the mat. Remember what I said earlier about those elbows facing forwards. Notice what happens with the shoulders, and we're here. Squeezing together in the center of the spine. And as you exhale, coming down to your sphinx. So forearms are down this time, still extending through the back. Shoulders away from the ears, pressing through forearms, pressing through palms and elbows. Beginning to slow things down now. So coming into the yin aspect of our practice, you want to think about spending maybe a minute in each pose, as I've showed earlier in this series. We can hold yin poses for 3-5 minutes, but we just simply don't have that time in our half an hour practice together. For now, just thinking about slowing the breathing down without really trying to use any technique. So we don't use our ujjayi breath in our yin, but we do want to think about where we can feel the edge. This concept of the edge in our body, that when this sensation of this pose, in this case the back bend, is enough that we're getting something from it, and it's not too much that we're in any sort of pain or discomfort or something that we can't hold for up to a minute or longer. Taking one last breath in your Sphinx pose before we come down into our rebound. So for your rebound, it's going to come into a crocodile or just simply stacking hands one on top of each other. We can take the chin one way or the other. Or just rest the forehead on the stacked palms. Taking 3 breaths here where we traditionally spend around a minute in a yin practice in our rebound. Just noticing how the benefits of that pose are absorbed in our body and integrated into our practice. Perfect. Coming out of your rebound now into your next yin pose, which is going to be what we'd call feet up wall. Now, if you do have a wall, it can be nice to elevate the feet up the wall. You can get the hips nice and close and just elevate the feet. Otherwise, just bringing the legs to as straight as possible, with hips directly beneath the feet. If that doesn't necessarily feel that accessible for you, we can always bring the hands underneath the lower back, stacking the palms, and just allow the weight, or the blood flow, to flow from the feet down to the body. Options to stay here, options, of course, to go towards your closest wall, and just try and settle the breath down. Again, noticing the experience taking place in your body. These poses are really about immersion, just absorbing the practice now without the flows, without the dynamic nature of the vinyasa practice. Just allowing yourself to feel into your body as the heart rate slows down, as the nervous system down-regulates. Excellent. On your next exhale, just releasing the hands from behind the lower back if they were there, allowing the feet to fall towards the earth as we take those 3 breaths in this position of integration, or again, immersion, shavasana. Not quite our final pose just yet. Allowing that process of integration to take place. On your next inhale, bringing the left knee in towards the chest. And we're going to take the hips over towards the left here too. From there, bring the right hand to the outer edge of the left knee and just guide that left knee across the body, taking a twist through the spine. If it feels safe for you, looking out towards your left arm outstretched, so you twist through your neck here too. Try to prioritize the shoulders being flat on the ground. And you can allow the weight of that right hand to gently guide the left knee to the floor. Remembering that we don't need to force ourselves into any poses. There shouldn't be any pain or discomfort. If anything, it's a hurt so good kind of sensation, whereby we're just able to melt a little deeper with each exhale. Find ourselves settling into our pose as the fibers or the fascia of our muscles really get some work here with these longer holds. On your next inhale, just guiding that left knee back through center. Finding your way into your back once again. We're not going to rebound between sides because we'll rebound afterwards, but just lifting the right knee into chest for now. Right arm can release alongside the shoulder, so you've got a straight line to the shoulder, and left hand just guides the right knee across the body as hips shuffle away from the knee. Again, prioritize the shoulders being flat on the ground here, whilst allowing that left hand to slowly weigh on the right knee. Taking the gaze towards the right arm if you did on the other side, or if it feels safe to on this side too. Really try to let go here. Surrender into that twist. Let gravity do its thing. And in your own time, guiding that right knee back into the center of your mat. Little brief rebound here in Shavasana, taking your 3 breaths, just noticing how the spine feels as we reset, as we lay flat on our back. Noticing the impact that those deep twists had on the spine. And on your next exhale, bring your knees in towards the armpits. We find our happy baby. So you can reach out and grab the outside edges of the feet, or perhaps you prefer peace fingers around the big toes. Either way, just allowing the hips to gently rock side to side here, and quite nicely visualizing yourself as a happy baby born again after nice 30 minutes of practice, feeling refreshed, feeling re-energized. Maybe you want to play around here, straightening one leg at a time, keeping hold of the foot. We'll spend some time here just allowing the hips to do their thing as you gently allow knees to fall in towards armpits or feet to come closer to the body. In your own time, bringing the soles of the feet together, finding your Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined bound angle pose. And we'll just round our practice off here, allowing the knees to fall out wide. Invitation to place one hand on the belly or one hand on the chest. And bring your awareness back to the breath. Those long, deep breaths are always welcome here. Now, as you know, I'm always encouraging you to spend a little bit longer on your mat with some meditation. 30 minutes is great for the body, but imagine the impact of just a few minutes of breath or meditation to clear your mind, and breath to just restore the body too. So spend as long as you need to here, closing the eyes if that feels okay for you, noticing the breath in your body, noticing the connection to the earth beneath you as it supports you. So you can pause the video here if you wish, spend a little bit longer. Otherwise, if you're ready to come with me, gently using the hands to guide the knees back through center. Finding your way onto your right hand side as we curl up into a little ball here, placing hands underneath the head to support you. And keeping the eyes closed as we use the hands to press our way up into seated. Seated, we're in a cross-legged position. Stay nice and tall as you can. And we'll bring the hands to heart center to thank yourself first and foremost for showing up on your mat, for carving out time and space for your practice, for your body, for your mind, for your energy, and for your running plan, of course. And in your own time, blinking the eyes open. Thank you for trusting me to lead you through this practice. As always, it's a pleasure, and I'll see you next time. Peace.